Right, I'm leaving. Bye.
We'll talk about you while you're around. She's not going to be happy because I've used masking fluid. She doesn't like masking fluid.
Your
I don't
Your-
like it either.
your picture is half cut off, Dave. Is it?
Yeah.
Can you make it go up higher?
I haven't put it on its board yet.
Oh, sorry. That's better. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm getting too keen.
Oh, that's it. That's
better.
better.
Yeah, we've got the whole picture now.
Yeah.
Are you all right now, Carol?
Yeah, I've still got the black bit, so I think that must have been there, but I've got rid of the hand waving bit. So that's
Yeah, because you went out and came back in, so we've
Yeah.
answered your question.
yeah.
Yeah, what I was going to say, Carol.
Explain these squares because I can't get them right.
Well, no. First off, I was going to say about the building, and it's the same thing with the other one. If you look at the picture,
Yeah.
the photograph or whatever, it's not very complex. I don't want it to be. Well, we don't want it's a just straight lines down.
Right.
So it's a remember boxes, drawing boxes, and
Yeah.
just do that, and you'll be fine.
Okay.
And just once you do that one, the rest to follow through, and you just look at it, and it doesn't matter. Once you put your windows in,
It will come together.
yeah, because it's
Okay.
if
lovely.
we're thinking Christmas and cards, not architects and extensions being built. Want a better term, but they are just cubes.
Right.
I'm not
okay.
even thinking about it, but I'm doing it deliberately because I don't want it to be
perfect.
no, because when we put the paint on and the windows, and as you gradually build it up, I'm not even holding the pencil right here, it'll suddenly turn into the castle because it's got these bloody things on top, and it'll look fine.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And then once you put the little tree in and some doo-doo-das, it'll be off.
Right. Lovely. Thank you.
The squares. Getting back to them little rascals. Yeah, these on this one, there's too many. What I did, I numbered them just for a laugh, really. And I thought, oh, there's 10 there, but I don't want 10. So I just doubled them up. So 1 and 2 is 1 square.
Yeah.
3 and 4. So you can carry on doing that infinitum. You can make them 3 by 3 if you want.
Right, because that's an A4 size, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. This is an A4
okay,
sheet.
lovely.
And then I just then I could, when I was drawing it, I wasn't thinking about that line in the middle. I was just going on the 2, so that one there. But you can easily just go over it with a darker line, pencil.
Yeah, that's lovely. Thank you.
The other thing I've done that you like a lot is, I was just saying to the rest is put some, I don't know, I was looking at this picture and I thought, oh, I think I can't even remember going to do this, but I must have done it. Must have been back in 2000, something like that. And obviously gone up there to get a picture of it in the snow. And lost the thread now. But anyway.
You put snow.
But there's no snow on it where I can't see it. There's no snow falling. So what I've done is I used my old toothbrush, poured a bit of masking fluid
I can see
out
that.
into the lid and sort of spattered it around. I was a bit worried. I was thinking, oh, but if I get big blobs, what it's going to spoil it. But of course it doesn't, because when it dries, before you start painting, you just go over the big ones and rub them out and get rid of them. So I don't usually do it that way, and I can't recall doing it that way before. So I'm open to what's going to happen. Palette wise, I've still got the same. Well, no, I haven't changed anything from last time. And it's still sticky as well. Just stuck my finger in it as usual. I don't know. I don't planned it. I've planned the sketch to a degree, but I haven't planned colors, tones, and all that rubbish. I just thought I'm just going to go. I'm like I said earlier. I just think today's got to be, well, the next couple of weeks anyway. Should be more fun. Well, more not fun, relaxed, a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is just whip it over the other way for a sec. I've got bits of blue masking fluid. I'm just going to make it wet around the castle.
Priory.
With our trusty mop.
Somebody heard me.
I don't know what you said. I heard a.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said.
You said castle and Chris said priory.
Did I say castle again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks a bit like a castle, doesn't it?
That's fine.
Yeah. Well, last week's was more like a sort of a castle, wasn't it? And that was a monastery. What colour, Carol, for the sky? Any preference?
Well, you've got to have a grey one, haven't you? You've got snow coming down.
Well, what I have got is
What a
sort of
blue.
a cerulean type blue.
Hmm.
So I'll turn it up the right way now. I've done that. Wow. But yeah.
I suppose you could put grey clouds. I don't know.
I think what I'll do,
Snowing.
if I can find a little. Actually, I think I'll stick with the mop. Just dry it off a bit. I've got this really
Oh God, that's bright.
sort of cerulean type blue for a minute. Why not? It's not always horrible at Christmas, is it? Or is it? It will be, when I stick some ultramarine on it.
It
Why?
depends whether it's snowing or not.
I've just got a little bit of ultramarine just to add in. But I've made it wet, so I don't want to go down into the main picture, that's all. Not with any. I just drop in. It's going to be very weak sky though, so don't want to go too weak, do we? Well, it's weak when it dries back, flipping watercolors. If we want to make it a bit snowy or a bit more, I'll just do it here. Got some choices in my palette. I've got this bit of beigey colour from last week. Might as well use it up. Maybe just drop a few. I don't particularly like that. But there you go. Just to say there's something going to happen or have been happening. It's just a bit of raw sienna and sort of fleshy tones. While it's wet, I just drop it in. But I think I'm fairly secure in it's going to be a nice soft sky. Focus is on the religious occasion. Jesus is coming home. I mean, being born even. Anybody got loads of people surrounding with Christmas lights, or have you got them on? Does Anne and Gordon do it?
No, they do.
Got, well, I haven't got one at the moment, but I've got mine up.
There's quite a few people here in my road now that are doing it.
Yeah, I've got quite a few. I actually thought for once for the first time in donkey's years, I would hang some lights outside. So when there was a nice day last week, I was out there and I was up the ladder and putting them all around the porch, all along the front of the lounge window,
Lighting.
switched them on and they didn't work.
Oh,
No.
no.
They worked before I hung them up.
Right.
I think then I brought the lead sort of through the window. It's only a very fine wire. I
Right.
brought it through the window and closed it, and I think I've damaged the wire.
Oh, right.
So, because when I plugged them in, it didn't work, and now they don't work at all. And they're my nice ones that I use in the caravan as well. So,
Have you tried all
those are
the
my nice
bulbs?
ones I had at Kingston. Yeah,
You
yeah.
tried, they're not loose or anything.
No, no. But
Oh,
I'm not getting up there now. The weather's so awful. I can't get up and take them all down. So it just looks like I forget to switch them off.
dear. Oh, it's a shame, isn't it?
Never mind. That'll teach me. I don't normally bother with Christmas. That's just telling me, don't bother.
Oh,
Yeah. Just have them indoors.
Yeah, I've got to put a few decorations up, as I've got company on Saturday night, haven't
Oh,
I, Anne and Gordon?
I'll get Gordon to bring the tester for the lights, Chris.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, they were working.
Yeah, give him something to do if he has to mend the wire where you've broken it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, okay then. I'm
well, if
not
he's
gonna
doing
take-
jobs.
Oh, it's very good. Yeah, he likes to do things.
Yes, he
We've
does.
got our outside lights, but we haven't got indoors yet.
No, I did say, I saw David yesterday briefly. And I told him, and he said, Mum, he said, if you know how busy I was, you wouldn't have mentioned it. And I said, oh, I won't tell you about the 2 bulbs that have gone in the bathroom either then. Oh, Christ, he said, but he is so busy, he's not going to be able to come round and do anything. He's rushed off his feet.
I
So
imagine he should.
Sounds like you've got a list, Gordon.
Yeah. He'd be more happy doing that than listening to us nattering anyway.
Oh, right. Better find a few more then, Chris.
I'll see what I can do, yeah. No, that's fine.
I was going to bring the castle along and paint the castle.
Paint along a Gordon, yeah.
Right, so electrical testing kit then to the floor. It's exciting. We're going to be allowed out.
I know. I was beginning to wonder. I haven't told Anne yet,
No,
other Anne.
Oh,
Well, I knew she's coming and she said,
Oh, right.
yes, she'd like to stay, but that's where I was yesterday. I borrowed Kat's proper air bed. It's like
Oh,
a full,
right.
it's a high, like a proper height of a normal bed.
really?
And it's
Crikey.
built up. It's a single bed. That's what she used to
Right.
use when she went to her dad's. So I've borrowed that. So you just plug it into the electric and it pumps up.
Really?
So Anne's going to have a much more comfortable bed than normal.
Oh, should be pleased. Mm.
Normally she's on the sofa. It can't be that comfy.
dropped tissue on the floor. You daren't do that around here.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Well, you
Was-
keep talking about your mystery dog. I wish he'd
Yes.
make an appearance.
Yeah, I was going to say, when are we going to see him? Or are you saving it for Christmas treat?
Just remind me, and I'll go and grab him
Yeah.
in a little while. Before you go.
I saw
ne-
I saw
my
the
next-
chap. Yeah, I saw his mum's parents. His mum's owners this morning.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, they always give me a wave. And I didn't. The dog one there, he was on his own and just going out in the car.
I didn't
That
want a
was nice.
dog. I don't particularly. If given a choice, I wouldn't have a dog. But now but, it's a thing that's happened, and I'm quite pleased about it.
Once you've had a dog, you miss them when they're
Mm.
gone.
No,
It's kind of.
I won't. I wouldn't, if someone said you can give him back, I wouldn't do that,
No.
No.
but I wouldn't have got him in the first place. That's being honest.
Mm.
I didn't want a dog.
No.
I prefer, I like the freedom of not being able to, I can do what I like.
True.
But
Yeah.
I haven't got, if I go
Yeah.
out in the garden, I've got the dog following me. If I want to go out in the workshop, if I want to do some work, the dog's there.
Oh, he loves you.
You know, yeah, but he's in such a, it's such a, I can't concentrate on what I'm doing. I've got to watch what the flipping dog's doing because he's going to do something terrible.
He's only a
Invariably.
puppy.
You know,
He'll
or
be all right when he grows up a bit.
yeah, he'll
Doesn't
mellow
get
out.
that.
I know
Mind you,
that.
my Leo's still not out of his puppy stage. He's still a lunatic.
Yeah. So what I've done there is I want the windows to look like they're warm and inviting. So
Mhm.
just added a bit of a glow. I'm just painting the windows first, a bit like last week. Please remind me to paint in the windows. I'm just a bit of yellow, and this is a little bit of on one side anyway. Rose madder, call it what you like. Add a little bit of extra warmth to the yellow. Looks a bit, I don't know, maybe a bit cold. Don't know really. I'll leave that for a sec, and I'm going to start. No, I'm not going to dry that off. I've got, it's funny, isn't it? You've got, in my mind's eye, I've got a rhythm of what I need to do. Create a picture.
How's everybody in the storm?
So anyway,
Yeah, okay. I don't like the wind.
bit colour for
Yeah.
the building. One thing I must have told this story before. I've got some sort of a sandy colour here, but it's just flesh with a little bit of, it's more water than paint. I remember, I've said this before, it's Alan Hayden, wasn't it? Because he had a picture of the Christchurch Priory. It's a bit stronger. It's almost more water than paint. And the walls of the Priory were all white to simulate snow. And I thought, no, it doesn't do that.
No, it
If
doesn't stick to walls, does
I
it?
don't know. But the whole thing was white, and I thought, no. And someone bought it for about 300 quid.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, at the exhibition. I didn't sell her that one. Oh, did I? I can't remember now. I've got no morals, scruples.
Mhm.
It was an oil painting, and I remember pulling him up about it after I sold it, saying, "You do realise that that building had snow all over it, and it's sort of impossible in this universe."
Mhm.
Did get a sort of a sheepish grin. All I'm doing is just blocking in with quite a bit of water with a sort of a fleshy tone. I'm determined just to have. Where's my photo? My photo's gone. Just want to have a look at the. Shows how much I'm focused here. No, I just wanted to look at the photos, see where there was any darker bits. You know, they're darker down there, darker there, and then just put some extra colour. Just set the scene really until we get some real darks in. But it's as this sort of painting, or it's more illustrative than anything. It's as bit clean water on the brush. What I tend to do quite often, well, all the time, is I'll put clean water on one area, one block of the sketch, like that area on that side of that building, and just put colour on that, concentrate on that, just that one section. You have to get some of this, some of these colours. Save so much time when you're doing this type of thing. It was June June is nice. St. Petersburg June, and that was Flesh. And the other one that works well is Peach.
Mm.
They're lovely colours, and they're fairly neutral, and they are. They've got a lot of uses. So I use them on. I'm using it on buildings, sand, obviously beaches, people.
Mm.
Crikey, there aren't many things left not to paint with it, and it works good as a background. But you can put it in the sky as well. This is a number 6 brush. But I think if you do this early on, I remember an artist, I can't remember who it was now, might have been the painter of the year on Sky or something, and the woman was there, one of the bosses teaching, saying, yes, that's the way to do it. You block in and then you build up. Well, because it's watercolor, there is that element to it. But if you're careful with the sketch, you know, just put in the main features, i.e. the top bit with all the castle things on, and then look at your photo and start thinking, just put some lines where the dark bits are, a little bit darker colour for now. It'll help you later. That's all it is really. Just build it up. When you do your sketch, the pencil lines, concentrate on the dark bits. Put a stronger pencil line where the dark, where you see dark in the picture, like there's a dark line down there. So I've deliberately drawn a line down there. So now I come to paint it, all I've got to do is paint over that line a bit darker, and it'll help form the shape. I nearly said castle of the church, but it does. But one thing I haven't, if I was doing this a bit more slowly, I think I'd plan, I can still do it, plan a few bits of snow on the building. And the way I'd be doing that is like looking at my thing, and there's a ledge there. There's a ledge there. Look for some little ledges. There's some on the window ledge there. There'll be some down the bottom here, where there's there, on the top of those little ledges there, and that you can just spot them. And on that roof, obviously, you're going to get thing. You might get some on there. So one of the things that I'll be doing post this morning is looking at this and thinking, let's get a stiff brush, a fairly stiff brush, and lifting it back out. Failing that, out will come the white. And I'll do it with white. I think, but when I sketched it, I thought, oh, I know what we need here is a story. It's a bit of burnt sienna. So just to vary the theme, burnt sienna, a little bit of rose. Should give me a variation of pink. See how strong that goes. That rose, look, that's just burnt sienna, a little bit of raw sienna, and then the rose. As soon as you put the rose in, whoosh, everything goes bananas. It's a variation of the pear theme, but you can get it back. Just simply spray lots of water in. Just loosen it down. And that, don't mix up so much paint next time. Donut. See how strong that is? I'm just going to block it in and lift it off. Try to avoid the tree trunk. Lift it up. I've got the traditional bit of paper in my hand as well. So that helps. I don't care if I want it to form little blobbles of colour anyway, because that will give us the shadow stroke shade of the wall. So if you get a card from me this year, it might be this one. Oh, you never know. Send it. No, I've got a plan. Have I still got that plan? Yeah. Don't like that. It's too strong. Just mix up a bit of that sandy colour in it. But I'm conscious, well, when I paint these things, and I remember Gordon always used to say, what do you think of this, Dave? And also, oh, a nice wash of burnt sienna over the lot. It's, what? Just to warm it up. I hate, and some of these colours will do that really nice. Just add in a bit more that stronger colour that I just criticised and mixed up onto the church. And maybe try and leave some little clear areas, especially where I said the window ledge is. But it's not the end game yet, because I can make the front perhaps a little bit lighter than the side. Gradually build it up. But like I say, every time I think, oh, it's going to take long to do this picture. Never does. Never works, does it? I don't know why I even think it. But this is the paint's dried off, so I'm just using it. Well, it's not bone dry, but it's damp. So I'm just adding the darker bit on top of it slowly. And the paper's slightly dry, so I'm leaving little areas. As I drag the brush, it doesn't pick up, it doesn't paint some parts. So I'm not forcing the issue. I'm just letting it stay there. And look for some of the darker bits. It's usually darker down that side. Just to remind myself where it is. Add a bit of burnt umber to that fleshy mix. And just wash it in. It's not easy, is it? If it's too strong, just dab it with a bit of tissue. But I want it to be a little bit damp paper, because it's I want it to bleed a little bit, you know. Add a bit of, probably have to get a rigger out in a minute. Yeah. Don't want too many heavy lines. And this would be the fun bit, really, or the monotonous bit. So once you get a little bit of burnt umber to that fleshy mix, give me a dark. There are options. I've got a little in my palette from last week. Still got bit of the shadow tone that I was using, so there's nothing to stop me from introducing that into the mix. I'll try and not too dark, Dave, please. I'll just look at the photo, and find some dark bits, but I pencil lined some of the window. Doesn't have to be mad. A bit of fun. Just define some of the lines that I've pencil lined. And same here. Top should really work top down, shouldn't I? But looks like I'm going to be introducing some white onto the tops of these things. Just the way it is. Da-da. Sainsbury's are due today. Well, I have the same day as Joyce.
Yeah, busy day.
Yeah, I love Tuesdays. Andy died. The vicar,
Yeah.
Scruffy vicar. I said in one note, it's funny, it's only when you sit down and think, oh, blimey, we did this, we were there together, we did, there was quite a lot of things that I did with him.
Where was it that he got knocked over, Dave?
I don't know.
I didn't know if it was.
I don't know the ins and outs of it. I mean, for all I know, he could have been drinking and driving. Well, he did. He used to.
Did he?
He used to like his pint of beer, but I'm not saying that. But there is a possibility that he made a cock up.
I thought perhaps it was on one of these new motorways.
Well, he was heading back from Portsmouth, so apparently.
Probably was.
I say, the only one that I spoke to is Verity, and she wasn't that clear on what was what. So turn my palette up here for a minute. I'm putting a little bit more effort into the building than I particularly wanted to, but anyhow, just the way it is. I think I might. I'm just trying to find some darks, some shadowy bits to emphasize a few points. But as I say, it's going to be perhaps look at it later, tomorrow or whatever, as usual. Think, oh, that's not quite what I had in mind. Not that bad. It's a bit of a shadow area there. Maybe the flesh isn't the best tone to use, actually, looking at it. I think the Juney colour is probably a better one. More of a stone, isn't it? I remember years ago they cleaned the priory up, dressed all the stones. It was almost like brand new. I remember thinking at the time, I don't like it. Part of the charm of it is the fact that it was the way it was. get that sometimes you watch these old swashbuckling films from medieval times or whatever, you know, and they have the castle, like, and it looks like it is today, and you think, no, 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 back then that castle would have been like painted like a house and white walled, and it would look like brand new, wouldn't it? How false. Hollywood gets hold of it, you've had it. All I'm doing here is trying to tone the church down a bit with a bit of the, you can use grey, but it's just sandy colour for a minute. And to me it's looking a bit pink, but hey ho. Sure don't. We haven't talked politics for a while.
Mhm.
Well, I keep reading the news, that little boy that they killed.
Oh,
Arthur, was it? Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Not often. Well, I watched parliamentary thing yesterday, and some of the speeches that they were making, particularly the Labour MP for education and culture, I don't know what her name was, but I think half the House of Commons was in tears. They were trying to speak afterwards,
Late though, isn't it?
and you think, God, blimey.
They had all that time that they'd been told to go and check on him and nobody did. Very sad.
Oh, it's horrendous.
Yeah.
Right.
Too little, too late, isn't it, really?
I'm only using the 2 brushes today. Rigger, line of paint, clean water, let it drizzle down. Should give me a Christmas time. If you think Christmas, it might turn into a Christmas picture. Well, maybe. I've got a plan, but it's sort of coming along. There is no, I had an idea that sort of flourishing. Right, let's dry that off for a sec, and then the attack of the trees. I think we'll be finished by 4.
dear. Oh,
We think that prior at this view is all these trees. All these trees, they're evergreens. So to put snow on them ain't going to be easy as such, because they're never snowy. Even when it's 4 inches on the ground, the trees aren't. Raw sienna. I'm just going to put in a few stalks, bit of raw sienna, trunks, tree trunks.
It's gone a bit quiet on your phone.
My phone.
Yeah, that's better.
Hang on. I think my strap slipped. Is that better?
Yeah.
Got 3 tree trunks. Bit of raw sienna. Drop in some of that horrible blue. Bit of ultramarine, perhaps. I keep repeating it. I keep doing these things. Like the windows and the tree trunks early. Or putting something in. Otherwise, you go off gaily painting, just only think, oh, crikey, that tree ain't got no. Where's the tree trunk? Where's it go? Just put a bit of paint down, set a marker, but usual thing, lift it off with a little bit of side of the brush. Squish it up a bit. Make it look like there's something going on. It's got to have some branches, isn't it? We don't see them because they're evergreens, as I say. They're, well, there's a choice here. I'll put some in anyway. All I'm doing is dragging what's there up. A little bit of extra colour out. Once you get that rigger on, that's the end of the painting. Because it's like it super glues itself to your finger, to your hand. There's a gate there. There isn't actually there. I think there is something there. I've put some lines down anyway, and a little bit. This is a bit today anyway. It's a bit drawing with the brush sort of thing. I'm not convinced that these reading glasses are 100% what I improve what I see. Let's go back, find some shadows. Try not to stick your hand in the ones that are there. I think I'll, like I say, I'll end up spending the next few days looking at this and thinking, oh no, that needs to be, you know, I was going to say titivate, but fiddling is better, and you just end up, but I don't want it to be like that. It's got to be loose. These church columns are on plinthy things, big stones at the bottom as well. Well, they are in my picture, which I've lost now. I don't know where that photograph went. I think it fell on the floor about half hour ago. The brush nearly joined it. But it's got to be more fun, isn't it? Looking at the picture and saying, we've got the outline, we've got the rough idea. Now we can do the rest from photographic memory. I think there was a window there. There's a doorway over here. There's a shadowy bit there. It's dark over there because that's the roof bit. This roof will be fine because we can lift off some of that colour. Of course, once you get this is hot press paper, which hasn't got any surface on it to put in any bricks, but we can easily, using a bit of dry brush, just simulate a few. Give it a bit of body, doesn't it? Especially if you find an area, say there, where the front entrance meets the side. It's a dark variant of the fleshy tone that I was using for the church. Just put in a few, just build it up. As I say, this bit can take time. And you need to round off those windows. Could be a straighter line, that, couldn't it? But I don't want to get too fiddly with it. I'm just biding time really while my tree trunks sort themselves out. Next thing, I think we'll have a bit of fun with the fan brush. As you know, I'm a great fan of the fan brush. So, what I could. So I'm going to add a bit of. I think I've got some Christine's green here. So I'm just going to fan a bit of that on and add some of that's raw sienna and Hooker's green. I remembered what it said on the tube, so I'm just going to whack a bit in to see what happens. As strong as I thought it'd be. Let's make it a bit wetter. Come on, here you come. Let's push that up. If I put that on there, it won't stain the paper. It's a nice, I think Hooker's green is, I've been really bad misaligning it and saying it's rubbish. I apologise to any Hooker Greens fans out there. But once you add it underneath another colour, it changes completely. And it's, I can see why it's so, I think it's Victorian in it. This tree is going to be a nightmare. This one at the background. So I'm not going to put too much blue, too much raw sienna on. I want to try and leave. Funny, really. Normally you say the term is I'm going to try and leave some bird holes. This time I'm trying to leave some snow holes. So it should work. I've got. So what I'm doing is putting the green on top of the raw sienna. Not too bad. And then I can put some extra stalks on. But some extra branches going up through the holes. And perhaps add a few extra. That tree is that shape. It's really weird shapes. It's one of those sort of evergreens that.
Is it a yew tree that they have in churchyards?
Is it?
Yeah.
That must be it then. Anne.
Traditional, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant.
Yew.
Glad somebody knows their horticulture.
Yeah, well, more the churchyard bit. But
This one,
spirits or something.
this one goes upwards. It's one of those sort of. Well, it does in my picture. I keep saying that. It's not. It's really thick. If I remember rightly. Even a squirrel has trouble climbing it. But yeah. Fair play to Hooker, whoever Hooker was. His green ain't that bad. Well, it seemed to be working. I mean, I've never done this before. Added a combination of raw sienna and then dabbed the Hooker's green on top. But be coming off, playing off all right. I just want it to be a nice Christmassy scene. I'm using our picture of Scrooge for my Christmas card. I bought must be about 100. Perhaps I'll use know, I'll stick with it. 100 cards, special cards to print it. You know what's going to happen here? I'm going to lose my blooming Christmas tree. I have put a little bit of oh well, bad planning that. I did put a little bit of masking fluid on it. Anyway, in for a penny, in for a pound. Keep going. Christmas time. We'll see what happens. It doesn't matter really, does it? Because the bits that aren't blocked out by the tree in the background will make it look like there's a Christmas tree going on. I've deliberately splodged that one a bit more. I think I need a bit of extra dark because they're evergreens, aren't they? They're really dark green. Don't know. Almost there. I did miss trunk, didn't I? I missed a trunk on that tree. Told you. I knew I just know what I'm like when I start painting. When you know the things that it's so frustrating. You get to right at the end and you think, oh, take a photograph and put that on up for sale on the website or whatever you do with it. Then it's only then that you suddenly realise, bugger, that tree ain't got a trunk. It's what's going on. Terrible. Well, I'm hoping it'll tell a story. People getting ready to go off to midnight mass in the middle of the afternoon. Could be a few little bits of touch up here and there later. It's almost too much of that. But if I put a few, get my river. Riggers here. I've got this one here that's made by Sea White's Pure Red Sable. How posh are that? My palette's all drying up here. Need a bit of a spray job. Sounds like fun. I think add some green into the darks as well. Been doing that a lot lately. I don't know where I've got that, where it's came from, but it seems to. Just going to try put a few twiggy bits in amongst there, just to make the tree a little bit more tree-like, with, even though it's still got its, I think that one could do that was a mistake. Didn't mean to do that. This, when you try a new rigger for the first time and it doesn't keep its shape like that one didn't, it just sort of spludged and went and formed a flipping great branch thing.
Some of them haven't got enough sort of body in them, have they?
That's it. That's what, yeah, as soon as I pushed down, it sort of went
too thin.
Yeah, sort of flip-flop.
I got one the other day and it's really nice. It's quite firm. It was only a number 1 and it's really quite good.
Yeah, I think this is the number 1 now.
Yeah. But the other number 1s I got are just too squodgy.
Yeah. I think adding that, I've added in a little bit of green into the darks. When you come to put some extra detail on the foliage, helps a lot because it's similar color, isn't it? So don't want to go too mad, just an intimation of a few things. But also, I was doing it last week on the castle, St. Michael's. I was still using that same dark in the darks on the buildings. I was quite pleased with it. It sort of worked out quite well. So be put, this is going to take, I mean, to do this, all this is going to take ages. You can put some thin lines going down. And try not to stick your hand in the paint that you've already done. Just, you can't actually see these windows, can you? As well, I can't. But they just look like, I know they're windows because my brain tells me they're windows, but I can't actually define the shape. My brain puts in all the extra detail. Oh, that's a window, Dave. Oh, all right, thanks, brain. I wonder what it was. Yep. Christmas Day. Don't want it to be a flipping masterpiece. I just want it to be a dinky do.
Oh, it's looking very good so far.
Mm.
Just want it to be a little dinky do picture, not a. I'll tell you one thing I've noticed since we've been doing portraits. Remember, I was always saying about, I keep saying, use your arm, not your hand to paint with. I've seemed to be doing it more and more, just sort of holding the brush at quite a long distance away from my hand and doing just painting like this. It's quite fascinating. I've changed my style. I think I'm not so fastidious about putting paint on, because I think when you get, you're not supposed to look at it right up close anyway. It's supposed to look good from, I don't know, 4 feet away.
Yeah.
Half a mile away even. Yeah, no, don't go there. 4 feet away. That's the optimum viewing, isn't it? You don't, that's looking okay. As I say, I think a little bit of messing about later might help. And when they dry back, you do find some really nice passages and some not so nice ones. So I'm just going to quickly dry the tree. Oh, there's my picture. Oh, bless. It's there all the time. Hair dry. I'm just going to dry this off. Or my thing's piece is just dry. Let's try this bit off. Yeah. I just fell on the floor. See, I'm neurotic now. Every time something falls on the floor, I think dog. Somewhere yesterday, no idea. Oh, bugger, it's not dry. I no idea where it came from, but there was a nut that fell on the floor and I couldn't find it, and I still haven't found it. It's trouble with masking fluid, isn't it? You have to rub it off. If bit just painted isn't dry, then it's not going to work. Never mind. I'll tidy it up later. But I've still got that dark part of my palette where I've been putting green in. And this, well, normally my darks are burnt umber, and the blue I don't like, but I use it all the time. But what I've been doing is, so say, adding some of that ochre green in it to give it, so you get a black, but it's not black, it's got sort of a green in it. What do you reckon on this flipping tree then? What I could try, what I could try is, especially at the top, nah, it's not going to work because the hairs on my fan brush are too. What I was wondering is if I could just jiggle some bits on the, oh well, just go think Christmas. Gotta be Christmas, it's Cliff Richard. I think actually it's Christmas. I think Christmas tree. Wiggle the brush. Oh, only trouble is I'm going off center. No, there's a wonky top on this, on that Christmas tree, Vicar.
Wind's caught it.
Yeah.
It was these
Ah.
gales that we're having.
I've got a tree at the back that's in next door's garden, but I was looking at it the other day. I thought that's got to be sorted. So it's got loads of branches, and with the wind, like you say, is predominantly westerly, and it blows up through the garden. Of course, most of it, of the main branches, they're over my side, so
Yeah, they do. Oh.
they won't be there for long. I'll
You're
be
allowed
looking
to
at that,
cut
but I just want to have a chat with the bloke if I can, and say, look, you didn't plant that tree; it came out of a bird's bottom, so it has no meaning to you. Do you mind if I decimate it? You know, sort it out,
Mm.
because it's not doing. Because otherwise, I'm going to just chop the bits that I'm legally eligible to chop, which is going to make it look a bit wonky, because it's going to have branches on one side, because they're all over. Because well, it's just the way the wind's got hold of it, isn't it? As it's grown. Well, it's a sort of a Christmas tree developing here. Didn't want that dark, did I? Well, you get the drift, what I'm trying to do. But I did make it quite dark. Yeah, hang on, it ain't got any doodles on it, yeah.
Put lights on as well.
Yeah. I was gonna-
Hang on, it's my picture. No, you're right.
The fairy on the top.
Oh, gosh.
Anyone particular in mind? Yeah, I think, but we can, I've put some real darks in, but I'll just mix up, I'm just mixing my palette with a little bit of the green and some, perhaps some raw sienna, a bit of a lighter mix. Yeah, that'll do. It's almost an olivey green that I could perhaps get the fan brush on and just tease a few, I don't know, what's the word? Think holly. A few little bits on. They'll come out spiky, won't they? They do have nice leaves on them. Yeah, I think it's looking too bad. It's better than I thought I'd do it. Yeah, especially at the top here. Could do with a smaller bit to the, oh, hang on. The center bit of the fan brush doesn't seem too bad. Mistletoe and wine. Perhaps push it a bit, try and lift it. If you look at the fan brush, the middle bit, it's the other, if I press on the middle bit, the other bits won't touch. You can see what I'm doing? Because they're fanning out. So I'm not using them, I'm just using the bit in the middle. Or trying to, that's my attempt at, yeah. Anyway, Christine's green is the flavour of the day. I keep calling it that. I'm running out, Chris. If you find any more charity boxes.
I always look.
Oh. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. Oh, that fell off my rigger. Put a little bit on there. Oh, that's really light, that green. Yeah, I like that. Like that a lot. Dry it off quick. And then, oh, I don't know, I can let that dry. I like letting it dry naturally. I put some what are those things called? People over here. So
Those things.
what colours do they wear? That's the thing. Invariably it's a reddy colour, isn't it? Don't know why.
Red
think-
navy only.
Yeah, well, no, you've got to do it and think, well, she's going to have a red top. Well, everyone can't have the same red top. So you just put a blob of colour on and then think up something else for the other part of the thing. Put a little bit green. My favourite is jeans. So everyone's got blue legs. Because it doesn't matter, everyone wears jeans, don't they? But it's one of the, oh yeah, that blue is so strong. Ultramarine blue. It's one of the times that you can have a bit of fun with colour, really. Add bits here and there. The other thing that I like, gives you opportunity, is you can use the flesh colour. So you can, and I do, paint the whole figure in. It won't work here very well because I've got so much flesh in, or the building's going to take it away from them. I've missed a figure off there. But you can paint the whole, and I do paint the whole figure in the flesh colour, and then add the darker tones on the top. The one thing I do is add burnt umber. I've just done it there. So that was the greeny colour that I used for the tree, which was burnt umber, ultramarine and hooker's green all mixed up together to give me a dark. So what I've added some more burnt umber into that mix, and I can add a bit of blue if I want. And invariably I'll paint the heads a little blob of flesh tone, and then while it's damp or even when it's dry, it doesn't matter, add the little bit of dark onto it. Sort of gives them its figure looks like it's pushing its tummy out, saying, "Oh
It's like a
yes,
man
you're
on the
getting in, are you?"
It looks like it's waiting up against the door.
Yeah, I quite like that. It's quite like that.
Mm.
And at some point, you can add a little bit of tease a little bit of white solid color, and I can see a little handbag or a little hand there as well, which is quite pleasant. Quite like that. Done a good job there. But I think, I don't know how other people, I mean, I've watched oops, loads of people how to paint figures and all the rest of it. And to be quite honest, I don't think there is a right and wrong. There's just it's just a couple of blobs, really. We'll do it on these bigger ones here now. I've got two figures cuddling under the what do you call it? By the Christmas tree. So just think up a colour. So put a colour on. Think carrot. Well, I'm not thinking carrot. I'm thinking sort of wedgy shape, and I know that the top is always going to be wider than the bottom. For the lady, the other figure. I'm just going to go. I'm going with it. I'm going to make it wet. Clean water, just on the outline of the top half. I'm only worried about the top bit, and then I'm going to use a bit of that green and just drop it in neat out of the thing. I'm not 100% sure that is Hooker's green. Yeah, maybe. Just drop that in and leave it for a minute. And the other figure, I haven't got any red, so I'm just going to drop in while it's damp some of the rose madder colour. Just put it on one side, let it drizzle itself down, tease it over and mix it in with that as well if you want. Well, the greens are nice Christmassy colours, aren't they?
Mm.
And I think, well, the figure to the lady with the green on, she can have an orangey, if I can mix orange out of yellow and rose madder, I'm doing well. But she can have sort of red leggy things on, but it's still a bit damp, so the top is, so it's going to bleed into it a bit, but hey ho. Don't want her to have too bandy legs, otherwise she'll be upset about that. Well, it's funny, isn't it? You've got power, you're sort of almost like a godlike person. And the other one, I think actually, she's got tights on for now. Quite long legs, this one. If the yellow's built into it, but doesn't matter as it dries. I'll just put some more of that on. Maybe not. Go for the tissue. Just dry it off. Try again. Normally, you just sort of go away, let it dry, and then come back. And then the repeat process for the heads. So I've just got a bit of flesh on my brush. that I just put on that leg there. Just lift off, it's a bit strong. Sorry, a bit wet. Then get a bit of burnt umber and the brown mix. Just drop it in on top. Try and leave a bit of it. Drop it down a bit. If you put some lines there, you can put in some hands. So they're holding hands now. Just a few little darks. Awesome. Yeah, and that one could come out a bit. Sort of worked.
That two ladies holding hands.
Yep.
Very forward thinking, Dave.
Yeah. Well, this is a forward-looking church, thinking church. You know, ever the radical me. Are we off for time?
12:15.
Right. I'm going to just dry it off and then do the final little bit, which would be the ground and rub off the what's it. So this early lunch didn't come off, look.
We didn't believe you anyway.
Few little bits I've got to do. Now I've got some pencil lines to wash out as well. So what I'm going to do quickly is I'm going to just make the. Ooh, where'd that come from? That's the only thing of using the edge of your board as a palette. If you go too far over, you'll pick it up. I'm just going to bit of clean water and grab in my box. I've got some very weak purpley grey rubbish. Just going to add it here and there. Just drop it down. Bit too much. Take it off. Take it off. That'd be all right, Dave. Be fine. Because what colour's snow? It ain't white.
Yellow by that man by the church.
Beg your pardon?
I said it's yellow by the man by the church with his tummy sticking out.
Yeah. This-
He's a wee in it.
Love it.
Huh.
I think it'll make a nice. Oh, what I was going to do quickly is I've got this beige colour. I'm just going to put a stronger line of it across there. So that's sort of a pathway. Dib off a bit of that, I think. And while it's still dark, oops, rigor, get the rigor. It's been a rigor day today, hasn't it? This one could do a little bit of extra. Hopefully being watercolor, it'll dry back a bit. Bit too strong really, but some rushing. Do I care? Not really. I'm having fun, so I'm enjoying myself. I'm making up a story as I paint, which is good thing. Good thing to do. Add a few dark bits there. Are you going to church this weekend? I'm already here, madam. I'm already here. Yeah. Can start making things up. And the other piece before Pauline tells me off or whatever is to put some doodahs, decorations on the tree. They can go right up as well. Oh, this is just yellow. Don't think they'd go. They wouldn't go right to the top, would they? Can't. Maybe. Just put a few yellow. I'm just putting a few yellow bits on. Neat out the tin yellow. Then I'm going to get some my neat out the tin. So I haven't got red, but I've got the other colour, rose madder. Wherever I put a yellow, put a blob of that. Christmas time. And that, when it's dry, it wouldn't hurt just to add a few highlights of white, just a touch of them, just to bring them out, just where the baubles are or whatever they are. Perhaps a nice bit of, if I've got any cerulean blue, not bad. I'd put some blue on there as well. Not because they particularly have blue lights, but it will, I don't know, it'll offset it a bit to the eye. When that dries, I think it'll be fine. Yeah, cool. Well, I've got the dark. I'm going to add a little bit more green into it. And these figures here, just going to put some boots on them. Snowing, isn't it? It's snowy water. They've got to have some boots on. And they need to have arrived. I'm going to put some, but these are bits that we can play with for ages afterwards. Like that's a bit too strong there, so I lift it off. Yeah, I think a lot of the figures are inclined to add a dark splodge to the bottoms, just to say, I love that one there. It's amazing. It's got a hoodie, like a hood up, and pushing a tummy out. I love it. Yeah, done a good job there. I think we'll have to wait for the. I can do a little bit at the top. I don't know. Gonna. Well, yeah. I don't think the speckling masking fluid particularly works that well for the giving me the snow. So I think we might be getting the little bit of white out and spatter in it, Carol.
Sorry, I was just missing for a minute. The carer's just come. Hang on, I'm just going to put a fire in the bedroom.
I was just thinking. I was just thinking of my snow that I spattered on some masking fluid thing, but because I
I'll be back.
absentmindedly kept the sky quite light, I wanted it to look soft and delicate, just like me, really.
Yeah. There's no answer to that.
No comment.
No.
I'm speechless, totally speechless.
Well, I'll tell you what, this for this morning's really gone quick.
Oh,
Took us a long time to set up this morning, didn't it?
Yeah, I'll definitely put a little bit more, but you get the idea, to get the drift, what we're trying to achieve. think
Very good.
Christmas card really.
Yeah, it's nice. Nice, actually.
I think I'll still need to add a few bits, but a bit tidying up. But considering I've made it up out my head, and I think in the distance, there's no reason why I couldn't just add a little bit of extra foliage.
That's better.
Yeah, it was in my plan, but I forgot.
Yeah.
The same over here. Just give it a little bit balance, just a bit of light green. Otherwise, it looks like there's nothing out there. And it gives you the opportunity. You can do it very lightly at the top, and it'll look like they got snow on them. Yeah, that's a bit better. There you go. Christmas
Really good.
Lovely.
Christmas on a
Yeah.
doodle.
Very sweet.
What colour did you do the snowy black wash? I wasn't here.
Yeah,
when you
that's
did
fine.
that.
All I have is what I did in the palette
Mhm.
over here. There was just a little bit of, I'll show you. Hang on. All it is you can use Alzerian crimson and a little bit of that blue,
Yeah.
which is very fierce and strong and
Oh,
goes bananas.
mm.
But if you water it down and just fiddle around, you might want to put a bit of burnt sienna, any bit of burnt sienna in it, and then it will go. See it? That sort of
Yeah.
snowy shadow color. Basically, Carol, all it is a shadow tone.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you keep adding burnt sienna in it, it will start heading warmer. If you add blue back in it, it will start going.
And colder. Yeah.
Maybe, but eventually, once you keep going, the color spoils. But you can see what happens. It's just
Yeah.
the combination of those colors, really.
Right.
Just have a bit of a. I enjoyed this morning.
Oh, nice.
The pictures told a story as well, which I'm
Yeah, no, it's
always
really
fond
good.
of doing.
Mm.
I think my church will probably have a play with Tress. Just find, I was going to say clean it up, but I'll probably more likely dirty it up a bit. It's looking too.
Yeah.
And
Looked a
I'll add
bit
some-
new. Looked like a
Yeah.
new build.
Yeah.
Mm.
I hate, yeah, you got it.
Mm.
That sort of. Yeah, I'll just try and find some darks and just darken it up a bit here and there
Yeah.
and see what happens. Yeah, that'll do.
Very good.
And lighten up a
No,
few
it's
bits
lovely.
here and there. Well, it's over to you guys.
Mm.
You can do the rest.
I'm
Yeah.
trying.
The one thing that the church does have, well, in my mind's eye, it does, right, is a
Lightning
pointy,
stuff.
yeah, sort of a pointy thing there that balance it off really well.
Mm.
Could put a flag on it.
Mm.
No,
Mm.
almost what I wanted.
Mm.
No, brilliant.
Oh wow! Funny, isn't it? Because I'm not looking at the screen. It looks really good on the screen.
Mm.
Yeah, it does.
Sky's nice.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Lovely.
think I've
Well
framed
done,
it
Bob.
up, tidy it up, but it's like all these things. When you do it, you think, what are you trying to achieve here? I think looking at it, I'll probably put a couple more figures over here to balance it up. Over this side. I'll be a couple of minutes. Always put something over here just to add it. Maybe a horse and cart. What do you reckon? or
Oh, no.
an old car or something. I don't know.
So you're getting a bit romantic.
Stagecoach.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have Santa and the
Mm.
radio going through the sky.
Let you do that, Chris. You're good at that.
If I did that, you wouldn't get anything else in the picture.
Well, I think the main thing is not to. I think the main thing to say is don't take it too seriously.
Yeah,
It's not
Yeah.
less is more.
Yeah.
less is more, and it's not about you know, pleasing anyone other than yourself. Really.
Oh,
Don't get too
I've got
serious.
Gladys on the phone now. Hello.
Hello, Chris, it's Dan.
Oh, hello, Glad. How are you?
Do you know if Jeff and Jan are coming on Saturday?
No, they won't be Glad.
They are. They ain't now. Yeah. So
Yeah, no,
there's,
it's really
there's
good.
your homework for the day. Have a bit of fun.
Yeah,
That is doing
Yeah,
it.
lovely.
lovely.
Just
Yeah,
have
it's very nice. Very,
a
very
relax.
minimal.
Well, it looks naive, but I'll sort it out.
No, it looks really good.
It's Christmassy. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
is.
it's well, Joyce, you can have some real fun with this because you can use some of your
Mm.
extra curricular pens or whatever to add some really interesting notes on it.
I could probably do so, and I got some new ones, so I could absolutely have a field day, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
We look forward to that.
That was the plan.
Um,
Awesome. I can't remember what next week's mission was, but I think it might be the.
Wareham Forest.
Yeah, that was quite nice. That's a relaxing one.
Take your word for it.
yeah.
It's got trees. What are you doing over Christmas, Dave?
There would have been a time when I said lock the door and get drunk, but
yeah.
Okay.
that was quite a few years ago. That's not, don't know, really. Nothing. More of
Sorry,
this,
I meant art-wise.
more of this, I think.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Christmas Day's on the Saturday, isn't it? So I didn't think it really affected us.
Okay, that's grand.
That's what I thought. If
Yeah.
anyone's got any subjects that they want to send me an image of, feel free. And yeah,
Okay.
I've got a few in the pipeline. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah,
Good.
it's lovely.
It's a bit of a grey sky out there today. I know that.
Yeah, miserable, isn't it?
Ooh.
Right, I'm going to love you and leave you.
Yes, and me.
I'll
Yes, and me
see
too.
you- I'll see you all next week.
Yes.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, be lovely.
See
Okay
you.
then.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
So,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
I'll end it for everyone. See you soon.
Yeah,
Okay,
bye.
thanks, Dave.
Bye, Dave.
Bye.
Bye.
Just a quick add-on. Creating snow. Yeah. How to create snow. Easiest way. Best way I've found anyway. Nice brush. Get a nice medium-sized brush. Dip it in the water. And my favourite permanent white. So it's nice and squishy on the brush. Just take the brush on the left-handed, so I'm tapping it and just tap it. And not too much, don't go mad. And you'll find, put a bit on there. There you go. And that's how you do it. Just do it. Be surprised how effective it can be. Tend to use a blank bit of paper first, just test it. And just put a few speckles in. That'll do for that picture. Just needs a few just to give it a hint of it. There you are. Brucey bonus. Have fun.